Hey, my good friends, Mike Shreve here. Welcome to our third day of Facebook Live. We're going to do something fun today. We're going to do something fun right now in that I'm going to share with you some books that I've been reading or that I have read in the past, some of my favorite parts of those books, and in the hopes that at least one of these ideas, one of these books sparks something in your brain and you can go off and knock out whatever it is you're trying to do. Hopefully we have some breakthroughs here today. The first book that I want to share with you is actually by someone who I have had the pleasure of meeting. His name is Bo Henderson. You can go check him out at, let's see, bohenderson.com. Let me just give you the name there so you can see the unique spelling of Bo. B-E-A-U Henderson.com is where you can get this book called The Roadmap to a Rich Life. I'm actually going to probably go see Bo at the end of January in Phoenix, a little mastermind group that I'm a part of. What this book is about is, so Bo is a financial advisor, smart guy with his money, and he wrote this book to help people learn how to use the tool of money to build a life that they want to live. So I'm talking about stuff like how to, he talks about setting up goals, but he talks about like how to use taxes to your advantage, knowing your numbers, how real people save money, how to hammer out debt, how much insurance do I really need? You guys, hey, freelancers, this chapter alone is worth the price of the book. Figuring out what insurance do you really need to do, doing a SWOT analysis of your finances, et cetera, et cetera. So the purpose of this book is probably one of my favorite finance books because I'm a creative and I really don't like those big, thick books where it's just page after page of like financial analysis, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really into that, okay? To me, money is a tool. And it's a tool for living a better life. Specifically for me, money is a tool to have experiences, to get to know people, to enjoy the things that I enjoy. Mostly I spend all my money on books. So this particular book is perfect for you if you have that same sort of mentality and philosophy about money. How can I use money to get more of what I want instead of just getting more things? This is definitely the book for you. There's one particular chapter I actually want to share with you. It's called The When I, Then I Game and the Art of Tacking. So in this book, he walks you through basically where you're designing the perfect life and you're figuring out how much it's going to cost and what do you need to do financially to get there. And he talks about this game that people play. He says there's many areas of life where I see people playing the When I, Then I game, which is basically, it goes like this. You say, when I retire, then I can make time for my grandkids. When I finish remodeling the basement, then I can take my spouse out to dinner. When I'm done with this big job, then I can go out again with my friends. And he says the problem with this kind of thinking is that it leads to a bankrupt rich life because you're waiting for some future event. You aren't investing in your rich life now. So that's the kind of book this is, right? And then he gives like financial strategies for setting up your ability to, like he says, making the time now for whatever time or financial picture you're sort of living in right now. So for those of you who are like, first I need to do this and then I'll launch my freelancing business. First I need to do this and then I'll pursue my, whatever, type of project is your creative project, whatever. This is the book you should read because 9 times out of 10, my friends, after having coached hundreds and hundreds of people, it's the financial picture that holds people back. And I'm telling you right now, what I took away from this book is that you need a lot less in your sort of financial planning and strategy to start acting now, as he says, to invest and create your rich life than even I had anticipated. It is a full-blown workbook. And actually, do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that this might actually be the bonus workbook. Anyways, go to bohenderson.com, check out whatever books he's got, see if you can get your hands on this roadmap to a rich life, see if you can get your hands on his Rich Life book. I highly, highly recommend stuff by this guy if you are if you're the kind of person who thinks that money is a tool and not just something to be amassed. Okay, so next is, speaking of breaking through ideas and reframing things, I want to share this book with you. Many of you have probably heard it, seen it, whatever. It's called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. This is a really, really good one. If you are struggling right now to have a big breakthrough. It's the beginning of the year. We're all trying to get to a new place, all of us, myself included. And one of the best things that I have ever come across in terms of what's the fast path to having a breakthrough is this concept that Tony Robbins talks about. Let me pull it up for you and show you the picture. And sorry, there's construction going outside my house still. It's been like 3 or 4 months of construction. It's this idea of limiting beliefs. So you and I have been conditioned growing up by our parents, by the schools we attend, by the commercials we watch, the programming, the TV that we've seen, the books that we've read. We have conditioned ourselves to have a set of beliefs. Oftentimes, those beliefs are a cage because we never challenge them. We never change them. We never ask, is this true? I learned this when I was 6, but is it really still true now that I'm 32 years old? Am I literally being held back by a belief I had when I was 6 from keeping me from progressing? So in this book, it's really about kind of the internal game and how do you control all of the thoughts and feelings and experiences that you have so that you can make progress towards where you want to go. And he has this idea that a belief is nothing more, let's see if you can see this, than a table. Okay, so for example, what he means by that is, here's your belief, I am sexy. Or for example, you could say, I am a good leader or I am not a good leader. Oh my gosh, those people outside right now are driving me insane with their crazy machines. 1 second. I literally don't even know what he's doing except driving around in circles. Okay, so let's say that you have a belief that I am not a good leader. That belief, like a table, is actually propped up by what he calls references, which are the legs of the table. So if you think you're sexy, I'm good looking and sexy, then you might have references in your life which lead you to that belief. So I work out every day, I look good in jeans, I drive a hot car, my lover tells me that I'm sexy, okay? So you have all of these legs of your table that prop up your belief. His suggestion is that if you want to change your belief, first what you have to do is change the references which hold up that belief. And he basically, for the entire rest of the book, he talks about how to change your reference points. So if you are thinking to yourself, there's no way I'm going to be able to be a freelancer, there's no way I'm going to be able to have this, it's impossible to have a business and have balance and have life, it's because you have references in your life, whatever and wherever they may be. Maybe it's someone told you something when you were a kid, or maybe you had a failure in your past, whatever. Those reference points are propping up the belief that you have. And so if you want to change that belief, and he talks about the role that belief plays, and basically belief is the gasoline in the engine of the car to make the thing go. So if you don't have belief, you don't really have much of anything. To change your belief, to free yourself from the limits that the beliefs are putting on you, you have to change your reference points. Let me give you one quick tip that he gives, which I really think is amazing. I'm actually just now remembering it here. So let me grab that for you quickly. He says, with enough emotional intensity and repetition, our nervous systems experience something as real, even if it hasn't occurred yet. So what he's saying is that these references that we're looking for to prop up beliefs, you can create them. Does that make sense? You don't have to wait for them to happen. You can create them. He goes on later in that same chapter to talk about all of the successful people that he's ever known have been able to create and control their reference points so that they are able to shape their own beliefs. One thing that this reminds me of is that more and more studies are finding that video games or reading fiction or watching TV, our brain can't actually tell the difference between those experiences and real life. It's why people who read a lot of fiction tend to be more empathetic. It's because their brain is experiencing the story as if it is real. Now, not our prefrontal cortex and the thinking side of our brain, but our deeper subconscious, our amygdala, our brain can't tell the difference. And so in this book, he gives lots and lots of references and suggestions of how you can essentially create your own reality, basically, that your brain then believes is real, and then you use that belief to power yourself to taking the action to get the stuff done. 2 more books, my friends. Here we go. This one, speaking of changing your mind and changing your brain, is called A Whack on the Side of the Head, How You Can Be More Creative by Roger von, I'm going to butcher his name, so let me just show you. Roger von Oesch or something. This guy's really, really cool. He is a creativity coach and a creativity teacher. And in this book, let me see if I can show you, see the page. It's just page after page after page of activities, suggestions, techniques, all for extracting creativity from that brain of yours. And let me tell you guys something. If you're going to start your own business, creativity, whether you are a creative, right, as a freelancer, or whether you're a technician or whatever it is that you do, creativity is an important part of your ability to succeed, because often what happens is it's like, here's a problem, find a solution, whether it's for a client or it's in your own business. Let's say you have a problem in your business. Oh no, I can't get enough clients. You have to use creativity to find solutions, right? So this is a highly recommended book from me to you on how to develop the skill of creativity. So for example, in this one, he talks about breaking the rules. How do you actually break the rules? Have you ever stopped to consider, how do you actually break the rules? How many times have you ever gone into something, I'm going to go in and break the rules, and then you end up just doing what everybody else is doing, right? So he actually gives you the strategies and the tactics and the tips, adding a constraint. We know that creativity loves constraints. Taking a pause for a little bit. He's got little break times built in here. 4 different exercises. The man with the smelly head, like being willing to be led astray, like all these different techniques that you can use for coming up with, maybe you're stuck, maybe you're in the MPP program and you're stuck on something. Read this book to get unstuck. Maybe you're in our open community and you're like, oh, I can't figure this thing out. Read this book to get unstuck, okay? So that is my 3rd recommendation, and here is our 4th to wrap it all up. This seems like a very strange recommendation for my freelancing friends, but it's called Drawing on the Power of Resonance in Writing by David Farland. The only place to get this is online on Amazon. As you can tell, it's kind of it's like a create space bound book. But what this book is about, David Farland is the guy who helped Orson Scott Card. He helped to train the Twilight, Stephanie Myers. The guy is like not only a good fiction author himself, but a highly successful story doctor. And he talks about drawing on the power of resonance in creating stories. But I read this as a fiction writer, yes, of course, but also as a business owner, drawing on the power of resonance in what we do in talking to people, in creating messaging, in selling our products and services. Well, what the heck is resonance? Resonance is that idea of same but different. So if you go and watch a movie and you're like, I want to go see an action movie, what you're actually looking for is an action movie like one you've already seen and you liked, but different enough that it doesn't necessarily feel that way. We as human beings, we like people who are the same as us, but only maybe a little bit different, so it doesn't seem like we're talking to ourselves. So the power of resonance is how human beings really relate to the world. It's how we operate. Even people who think that they're really super open-minded and people who think that they like meeting people who aren't like them, most of those people are actually still just stuck in resonance. So understanding resonance as a tool of communication, as a behavioral tool, is really, really powerful when talking to people about your services or your products. It allows you to have better, deeper conversations with those people that you're working with and talking with. Okay, my friends, I tried really hard to keep this one under 20 minutes. This is something we just wanted to try. We're just experimenting. We're seeing what lands with people, what format works with people, what time of day works with people for our Facebook Lives. So I'm going to let this one lay where it is, and we will improve. I've already learned a bunch of stuff about maybe I don't need to do 4 books. Maybe I could do 1 book in 7 minutes, and maybe have a theme or something. But this is the process of growth and of building something. In 6 months, this is all going to be so tight and so cool. So I appreciate those of you who are watching, who are sticking with us through these daily Facebook Lives. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope that you are too. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. That's it for today, and I'll see you around in the group. Those of you who are in the No Pants Project coaching program, stay focused, do your work, and let's have some fun. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.